Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world. An alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
8 News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard, where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
Someone else has access to it.
Greetings from the east, the north, the south, and this wicked ass west. The topic, UFOs. The questions, why you think blacks never see UFOs? Let's get into it. I am your host. I am the one.
One of the things I often hear from people is, why don't black people ever see UFOs or aliens? I remember back in the 80s, Oprah had a guy on her show, and of course he was a white guy. Wait a minute, let me bring him out, make sure he's here today. Okay, here he is. Oprah had one of these people on her show, and there was a lady that got up in the audience, and she was, I guess you can say, skeptical. And she made a statement that, why don't black people ever see aliens? This man with a straight face, he said, aliens don't come to the ghetto. And he said it with a straight face. And there was a sense of uneasiness in the audience. But of course, Oprah sort of brushed it off. Well, I'm going to tell you why. There are 2 sets of aliens, or UFOs, that visit the earth. Most people don't know that. There's a righteous alien and there are unrighteous aliens. There is always an opposite to what's real and what's not real, what's good and what's bad. There's always an opposite. So, in certain cases where they say they have shot down a UFO, it was not a righteous UFO. That's a whole nother topic. But my point is that when they saw these tall aliens, I'm going to play it later in a video, somehow they seem to be gracious towards God's people or the Israelites. And therefore, they never came to harm us. This is who they came from. There is a movie. Well, it was a 30-minute movie. It's called The Cosmic Slop. I'm going to write that down. I want you to check this movie out. It's on YouTube. I want you to check it out. And I'm assuming it's sort of satire, but it's really realistic. In this movie, these people had a deal to get rid of every black person in the country. Long story short, they took the deal. That's reality. And that's going to happen in real life in the future. And in this movie, I want you to check it out, where you have all these black people being beamed up into the sky. And although it's sort of, they made light of it in the movie, but there is some realism in that movie. Any Israelite will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I want to go from clip to clip to clip to show you what's going on. Just, whether you believe or not, just take a listen. I'll be back.
We are space traders bearing exquisite gifts that will restore your nation to its former glory. Nearly limitless quantities of gold and precious metals that will instantly erase your deficit. Machines that will renew your rivers and your air. Cold fusion technology for a safe, cheap, and inexhaustible source of energy. All we ask in return is the delivery to our vessels. 5 days from now, every child, woman, and man in your nation with at least 2,500 milligrams of melanin in their skin per square centimeter.
What the hell is melanin?
Put more simply, in trade for solving all your most pressing domestic catastrophes, we are asking for every person in your country that you would classify as black.
Are you kidding?
No, we are not.
And Casper, let's be honest. Do you really think the aliens will treat them worse than we have?
Carry it, leave it behind. While I'm talking.
And so as we say goodbye to our dark friends and neighbors, we say hello to a new era of American peace and prosperity.
Okay, that was a couple clips from the movie, The Cosmic Slop. Okay, and it's really funny because the movie was made in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. And, today in America, everybody want to be light or light-skinned. And according to the movie, it was based on melanin. Now, if you're an Israelite, you know it's not based on color. But the movie said it was based on a certain percentage of melanin in your skin. But my point is this. In the movie, as it is today, you had some black men in the movie that refused to leave their white woman. Yeah. And in 2025, you know people, and I know people just like that. But the guy said goodbye, thinking that we're going to serve even harsher punishment. But that's not going to be the case at all. Let's get back to UFOs. Let's go to the next clip. Wait a minute. Let me come back right quick. In this next clip, you will see this good Christian old white man used to work for NASA. He's going to explain what he saw. And he said, black people, tall black people on these alien ships. I'll be back. Take a listen.
Now, again, this is just a point of reference because they are talking about 8 feet, 9 feet tall, 10 feet tall, but let's listen to that.
The idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us.
Okay, she's asking the doctor, like, okay, if you have those pictures, okay, the ring around Saturn, which is the book. Now, will it be possible that those things that you say that are making the ring around Saturn, for those of you that study with us, you know what Shabbatai is. Shabbatai is the highest planet with the heaviest planet with the heaviest metal, and the ring around it is being made by certain things, okay? Shabbatai is the house of the Black George, and this guy know that. He know the beings that live in there, but he is very uncomfortable answering the question.
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard. And they have a picture there of I think it's
you can see how he's very nervous. He's very careful not to answer the question, but he's like, hey, they gotta know the truth, okay? When he said there's a picture there, listen, NASA have billions of dollars at their disposal. They don't have this camera that you have in your phone, those black and white or gray pictures. They have high definition HD. Not only they have photos, they have more videos of those things, okay? Things that are high quality, like Hollywood doesn't even have those things, but NASA does.
The Apollo flight that Buzz and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall.
Were they tall? Very tall.
There is one image there
that shows black people getting off. There's one image. She tried to deviate what he said. Like, you mean dark skin? So they can say, oh, those are white people with kind of like suit, dark suit, or like tan, or they look Indian. Those are like East Indian or some kind of like, I don't know, some white European with dark skin and stuff. But he said no, black.
People with dark skin getting off.
No, not black, because he know what she tried to say when she said dark skin. That dark mean everyone, but he said no, black, Negro, that the people we enslaved, they're over there.
Black skin.
Really black. So she could have expanded on that, but she like, oh, were they tall?
Were they tall?
Yes.
this thing, they're calling it the jellyfish UFO. It was a video taken by the U.S. military intelligence in Iraq. They were tracking this thing, and they could only see it with a thermal camera. But this drone that was tracking it, they have the capability of locking in on a tire of a car from 27 miles away. But this giant thing that was floating, they said they literally couldn't lock onto it.
Oh, wow.
But it kept on going like white, black, like it was getting hot, then cold. And then he said it went out over the water, dove into the water.
Oh my gosh.
Was under the water for 17 minutes, then shot off in the blink of an eye at a 45-degree angle. They said that they had these hanging arms. It looked to have scales, but then something appeared in California that looked super similar.
Identical.
Jeez, man. What is that?
Does that not look like 6 wings, 2 of which cover the feet?
Dude, it does.
Here is something specially for you. Just 1 week after the Miami shadow alien encounter in January 2024, people in Brazil encountered 2 weird alien creatures on top of a hill at an island 3 kilometers off the coast of southeast Brazil. Local hikers who recorded the footage reported that 2 alien creatures were spotted on the mountain, and they were supposedly 10 feet tall, similar to the Miami shadow alien. The reason they say they are so tall is because the shrubbery on that hill was barely reaching their knees, which would ideally cover half of a normal human. The aliens were then seen walking down the hill quicker than normal humans, with bigger strides, obviously because of their tall stature. Even Brazil's provincial government commented on the video, calling the creatures strange beings. Were these the same aliens who were seen in Miami on New Year's and have now moved to South America? What happened at Miami on January 1st caught the attention of not just the local people but also the city police, and to be precise, hordes of them. It all started when a brawl broke out among some 50-odd teenagers who were using sticks and fireworks to battle each other. Miami police were immediately called in to get the situation under control. In response, more than 24 police cars stormed the area to take charge of the situation. But people believe that cops were there to access another supposedly bigger threat. There are claims that an 8 to 10 foot shadowy alien creature was seen outside the mall, and that was the real reason why the cops arrived at the crime scene. When contacted later, Miami police confirmed in an official statement that there was no such shadowy alien. Contrary to this, one eyewitness who was spending New Year's at the mall actually said to have seen a tall shadowy creature chasing him, then disappearing and reappearing again.
I look back, it looked like a big ass shadow, but it was solid at the same time, like a few shadows, but they were solid at the same time. And it almost looked like they was coming our direction, like they was chasing us, but they was disappearing and reappearing closer.
Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.